big announcements came in your speech yesterday, and indeed more on planning reforms. Tell us more about those.
Yeah, we know that we need more new homes, but there's a lot that we've done as a government to increase the number of homes in this country, but we need to go further. But we also need to make sure that they're in the places where the demand is highest and the places where it makes most sense economically and environmentally. That's why we outlined plans to build more homes in the east of London and also in Cambridge, Leeds, Wolverhampton, Sheffield, and other urban locations.
Interesting you're mentioning Cambridge. Obviously, there's been lots of furore from the local Conservative MP there who's saying, hang on a minute, you can't build here this big planned development. I think it was, 250,000 homes there. We're already run out of water. But we've been looking at a map, haven't we, this morning? We're trying to work out where exactly this planned development was, because it's almost like a polo mint of greenbelt around the city of Cambridge. So either you're planning to build this on the greenbelt or it's going to be a long way outside of the city. It feels like one of the big unanswered questions on this. Can you shed any light on it? Because you're saying it wants to be near where people want these developments to be.
Completely. We've asked a great guy called Peter Freeman, who was responsible for delivering the King's Cross redevelopment and who's the chair of Homes England, the government's delivery arm, to look at precisely this, to look at how we can make sure that we have the water supplies that we need, how we can make sure that we get the broader infrastructure we need, and then to talk to local people about where this development should take place. I'll wait for Peter to come back and make that recommendation. I've sketched out the sort of vision that we have, and it's important that any extension is built beautifully. And yesterday we released some sketches and design principles that I think will give people a sense of what this new development will involve. But obviously it will be for Peter to report back to me on where precisely that extension of Cambridge's footprint should take place.
Dear God, you're going to wait for all these people to come back. But you see, Michael, you know, on the face of it, your job seems quite easy. We're going to build a load of houses and we're going to do it quite quickly. Indeed, the Conservative manifesto had said 300,000 houses a year. But then we find, OK, I'm going to build these, but we've got no water supply. Oh, that could be a bit of a problem. Or they're not connected to the electric grid or whatever it happens to be. Problem after problem after problem. And I'm empathising with all of this. Wow. How are you going to stick to a commitment, or can you ever reach that commitment of 300,000 homes a year?
Well, you're right, Amy. You do need to take the need for water and for transport and for schools and for GP surgeries into account when you're thinking about big new developments. We have delivered just last year the highest number of new homes for 3 decades. So we've done a lot, but there is a lot more to do. Now, in some cases, what we announced yesterday will involve existing buildings where there's already the infrastructure in place being turned into homes and a change of use from what were commercial properties towards residential. But it is also the case with these major new developments, you do need to plan thoughtfully, and it takes time. And ours is a long-term plan. So it will see more new homes built every year. But you are right. The only way that you will ever get to the level of housing that we need is if you think long-term, and that means starting now.
Your plan to convert commercial premises and making them into residential. But we were saying that's not going to solve the problem. It may ease the problem. It's not going to solve the problem as well. And then you're left with this whole other problem that it further diminishes the high street. I just go back to my own childhood, and we lived on a road where there were fruit and veg stores, bakeries, pharmacies, whatever, all on the one road. It was quite interesting. It wasn't a high street or anything else, but you had the facilities around you, and there was that sense of community. Nowadays we just build, 500 houses with no shops around them.
No local school.
And things like that. And just it's difficult. I said to you, I'm not mocking what you do. You have to level up, and you've got to get the idea of a community together. Matter of fact, you're a minister responsible for communities. Is it mission impossible, your job?
No, I don't think it is mission impossible, but you are right. The first thing is that the high street is changing. People are the whole pattern of shopping is changing. But in order to have attractive high streets in the future, I think we want to have more people living in town and city centres, and then the high street will become more a place for some independent shops, yes, but also for leisure and for hospitality. And that is happening, and you are in our best urban centres and places like Manchester and elsewhere seeing that change come about.